So I know, like before we started shooting, I told you that you one of my favorite people to interview, and you asked me why, and I'll tell you why
Yeah, you
we
didn't
shooting,
answer me.
and it's because not like there's people who you interview that you don't see every day. Most people you interview, you don't see them every day, you know. But when you interview someone that you see every day, that you get to see grow every single day, it's always different because you could hear the perspective on so much different things that you don't see.
I guess that means we have to switch roles next time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
eh?
yeah, maybe. So, and that's the thing is that like when you live with someone, you see everything that happen. Well, most things that happen, and when you get to sit down and talk to them, you get to hear it from their perspective of how it happened for them. So it's like you and then another person like to introduce my mom because I see her go through everything and grow. And like when you're the person who grow, you never really see yourself growing.
It's true.
But one thing I learned um is that sometimes when you grow, you have to realize growth so that you could grow bigger. And this just came to my head is like if you're gonna outgrow your shell and keep it, you better be a ninja turtle because it should be able to you need to be able to fight. Your shell is supposed to be able to be your shell is supposed to be bigger
Protection.
exactly bigger than you for a reason, right?
Mhm.
So if you're gonna outgrow your shell and keep it, you better be a ninja turtle. So in life, you have all these different shells that you grew into one, then you change switch it for a next one and the next one, So it's just good to interview people who you get to see every day um grow in small increments that they don't realize it's like going to the gym. It's like every day you go to the gym and you don't realize you grew it until you look back and you say, oh, my butt looking bigger, and
Progress photos.
huh?
Progress photos. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think men do progress photos.
Yeah.
I never do a progress photo in my life.
Maybe you should.
No, that's gay. I should have cut out. But I really had to cut out. Now I don't do progress photos. I never. That's one thing I never. And like even like when you go to the gym, the guys who be flexing in the mirror,
It's the worst.
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. So anyway, so we here now, and thanks for taking time to sit down. And how you been?
Great. I don't even know where to start, Vaughn.
No, that's like how you been. How you been?
Good. Busy.
Yeah.
Just, work, mom life,
Yeah.
wife
Put the
life.
mic closer to your mouth, maybe. Where and like what do you do now? You personal trainer.
Yeah. I've been doing personal training for a year now at B Fitness, women's only gym.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's been probably about a year since our last podcast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Since the first episode. Yeah. So I think I was just getting into it around then. Um, I've always loved fitness. Um, I don't really know what to talk about on air.
Yeah. No, you're good. Just to say that. Just to say you don't want to talk about. You keep going. You keep going. Don't worry. So like, so what like how come you get into fitness? Like what get you into why you choose personal training?
So if you listen to our last episode, um, basically a lot of my passion came from what I went through in my life. Going to the gym always made me feel like I wasn't living the life I was living, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't going through everything I was going through when I was there, when I was at the gym, when I was working out. And I just felt like it set the tone for the day. And that can be in like with anything. Even if I'm having a good day or I'm going through a good time. Um, I just feel like the gym sets the tone for everything else you want to do in your life or working out in general.
Yeah, just like yeah, no, I feel it because I remember like it had a time in my life where I wasn't working out, you know, and then I turned 21. So then I had to work out because I was getting older, and then so Cordell introduced me to the gym But before that, I didn't know the gym. Like it was weird for me. And then at first, it started being a I want to look sexy type of thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and
I think everyone starts there. I mean, at least if you start working out like when you're like in your 20s or whatever, I think everyone starts there. Everyone has a dream of how they want to look or how they want to be. I think it's not until like halfway when you're like really into it and you're like more consistent where you're doing it more for health reasons. And that's just my personal opinion. I think everyone starts with motivation, and I don't know,
to look
everyone's
good.
heard that motivation doesn't last forever, right?
Yeah,
So, but I mean, and then once you start feeling the results, it becomes an addiction and a healthy addiction.
yeah. So so for me, it was like I started going to look sexy, and then I fell off. I stopped going. But then I had like high blood pressure. I don't know if you yeah, I know you remember. So I had like high blood pressure. I was suffering from high blood pressure. And I don't know why, but the doctors could never figure out why my blood pressure was high. Like everybody was trying to figure out why my blood pressure was high. And then one day I decided to go for a run. So I stopped the medication that they were giving me because it was making me it was messing up my sleep. I had to like pee a
You had
lot
to
during
pee
my
a
sleep.
whole lot, yeah, because it's the medication was going through your kidneys.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. So then I stopped it and then I started just exercising.
mm-hmm.
I stopped drinking. I cut out drinking and then I started exercising and then I could see
Oh,
the
and you
decrease.
cut back salt a bit
Oh,
too.
yeah. I cut
Yeah.
back a lot of salt. Yeah, and I see the decrease. 'Cause I used to eat chow like every night. I used to make chow
Yeah, I
every
wouldn't
night
even
and
really say that you ate bad. Like, it's actually quite shocking that you had high blood pressure because you don't eat bad. And, like, you don't eat a bunch of sweets or, like,
yeah.
chips or anything like that. It's just the amount of salt in the
But
food.
I actually think it was a good thing that I had high blood pressure when I did, because I wasn't eating too bad as you say, but because I had high blood pressure, I had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But if it's for most people who don't even realize, well,
It was
they
your
could,
motive.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they
It was
could,
your motive
like a
to.
lot of people die from it, and they look young and healthy, and like I remember like a lot of the times I'll come home and just fall asleep on the couch like every single day. I'll
Actually,
be
now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be sleepy
I didn't
all the
really think of that.
time. Every single time I'll come home, I'll be sleepy. Um, and it really affects.
Headaches.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of headaches, and that's how we end up checking, right? And then the doctors check and realize. And around that same time was when I had someone who I know who had an aneurysm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember mommy saying, mommy telling me that let's hope that if it happens to you, that you die.
I remember this. That scared
Because
you.
yeah, because if you die, then no, 'cause if you don't die, then your wife dies,
Okay.
because then that's her whole life. Your whole
It's taking care of you.
Yeah, her whole life is now taking care of you, and then it really hit me because as a mom to say that to her child, it's kind of messed up, but it was real and it was what I wanted to hear. And right after that is when I started having dreams about like Jada, um, being older, crying,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that I wasn't there no more. And it really scared me, and that's how I started going to the gym. And because I had you who was going every single day, so it was kind of
To keep up.
motivation. Yeah, because we was looking kind of uneven because you was looking good in public and I was looking like, why is she with him? So yeah. So back to where we was. I know that was a long thing and we went a little off, but so I knew that after you had Makai, which is our last baby. I remember that,
Youngest.
huh?
Our youngest.
Our youngest. I remember that, like what was going, like what was happening to you at the time, because you had two pregnancies before. I felt like you understood a little more that um um postnatal,
Postpartum.
postpartum,
Mm-hmm.
postpartum depression is real. So I feel like when you had the third baby, you kind of understood it, so you knew how to deal with it. And I feel like gym was one of the biggest things
And
that
like,
you did right after.
just to talk about that a little bit too, is that I think with Annie and Jada, like I had a little bit of postpartum, but it wasn't really too bad. I think with Makai, it was way worse. And I think like I when you first have a newborn, it's kind of hard to, no excuses, but it really is hard to work out and to get back into the gym. You work so hard for your body, and then you go through this pregnancy and it just destroys you, or you feel like destroys you. And then like on the outside, other people looking in are like, "Oh, you're fine. Like you're a mom, you did all these things. That's what your body's supposed to do." But you feel like you lost yourself. And with Makai being almost 10 pounds, like I'm 5'1", he literally destroyed what I feel like destroyed my body. So me being so into fitness and knowing that it could help my mental health and stuff, I think that's what really inspired me to take it on full force and not worry about, I kind of did these other little things along the way. I was always searching for my passion or what my passion was, but it really was the gym all along. And yeah, so as I was saying, like, I think it helped. I knew it would help my postpartum, and I really think that's what healed me without medication and taking other routes to heal.
So you see a couple things there, right?
Yeah, I kind of yeah.
No, which is good, which is good. So what I wanted to ask is if you could tell me the process you finding a passion, like if you could pay yourself back there right now, how 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 did you do it, and how did it feel to be a human, and you
Honestly,
have kids and you're trying to figure out what is your passion, like you
I
have
was
all these
thinking about
different.
this the other day. It's like I can't believe how easy it actually was. But like when you're going through it, it feels like the hardest thing ever. It's so frustrating when you can't figure it out. So like obviously I did all these jobs. Like I worked at Shoppers Drug Mart. I grew up when I was growing up. I worked at Dollarama. I worked at Tim Hortons. Obviously those aren't my passion, right? So like those are just regular jobs that was making me money at the time. Um, and then I just started. Also, during all this time, I was always at the gym. I always knew I loved the gym, but I feel like so many people told me like you can't make money being a personal trainer, or like you just hear like stories of people failing being a personal trainer, and like and nothing on them. I just think that it actually, whoever it was that failed at the time, in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, because you probably can't make anything from it, but it probably just wasn't what they were meant to do. And yeah, so I think a lot of the time, like me looking for my passion was, it was right there. Like it, I was working out. I would come home and be like, oh, let me try to make t-shirts. Let me um, go to school to do massage therapy. And also while I was doing massage therapy, I really realized how much I liked learning about like the muscle groups. And I think that's what really actually kickstarted my fitness journey, was the anatomy of the body. And I realized like what actually interested me in the massage therapy program. It wasn't actually massage itself, it was the anatomy of the body and what our muscles do and why we have to strengthen our muscles, why it's so important, and what the type of people I would have been treating, and like what things cause these people to come in for these treatments. It all links to not working out, not being
Yeah.
healthy, and you're, I mean, obviously sometimes there's still muscle problems and whatever that can come from strength training, but it's so important to just be strong and healthy.
So the massage therapy
Mm-hmm.
was something that, because I have this theory, right? Theory, right? Where I feel like everything that you do in your life, right? Once you're searching for your passion, everything that you do in your life,
It'll make sense
it
eventually.
makes sense,
Yep.
And at first it looked like I know, like Dave Chappelle have this scene where he's like he says it's standing at the elephant too close.
Mm-hmm.
And from close you could only see its gray penis like skin, but as you step back you could see the beauty of elephant.
It really does make sense because, like, also before that, I did human services and social service work. I thought I wanted to help people with like their mental health or like children and whatever, which, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense, but it actually
It
does,
does.
because I'm at the same time I'm still helping people through their healing journey and bettering themselves. So massage and social service work, it kind of links with personal training.
Exactly. I was a chef. I was a server first, then a chef, then a barber, then I did film, now I do podcasting and film, and they all
Honestly, from the outside, somebody could say like, "Oh, that's messy."
yeah, he has no direction,
Yeah, but
you
it
know.
really does
It,
like
yeah,
you.
it makes sense because
Yeah.
the cooking helped me get to the barbering, which was and then when the
It also helps feed our
yeah, then
family.
it helps feed our family, yeah.
Clearly.
And then the barbering was like I get to sit with people every day and talk, like a bunch of different people. Like
Yeah.
I was telling you guys that I don't want to pay it out there, but last week a client just came in to talk, and sometimes you never really realize the impact you have on people until certain things happen to them, and you're like, oh, this is why that happened, and this is why I learn about that. I realized in my last episode when I was editing, I was opening my eye too big all the time, so I was trying to keep my eyes trying to keep my eyes kind of squint right now. So yeah, you know what I mean. So it does make sense.
You did.
I open my mind,
You're like so.
so it does make sense. But yeah, it does make sense if you keep searching for what you want to do. So I don't know how to keep moving on like this. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, but it does make sense if you stick to what you want to do and be true to it. In the end, it always comes back full circle, and
Mhm.
you have so
If you
much
told me
full
this,
circle
honestly,
moments.
if you told me this a year and a half ago, I'd be like, whatever. I'm still frustrated.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like, and there we go again. I feel like in the world that we live today, we put so much effort on financial gain, and it's all about financial gain. And I understand because you need money to survive. You need money to live the life that you want to live.
I feel like also a lot of there is sometimes when I'm talking to people and they're like, how do you get into personal training? How do you know like this is what you want to do? And I feel like there's no like clear answer to that. It's just you just know.
Yeah,
You just know. Like I can't see myself ever doing anything other than something within the fitness world.
yeah,
Like
definitely. Even like when somebody asks me, "Oh, how you so sure? If you show me what you wanna do, let's sure you wanna do film." I'm like, I don't. Like you're still searching. You're
mhm.
still always searching for what works with what you want to do and for the feeling of it
Yeah.
being like,
I
yeah,
feel
this is
like you just
right.
have a little bit more direction once you figure out where your passion
Exactly,
lies.
definitely.
It's like your direction is just a little bit more clear. It's still difficult, but like
Yeah, like they say that God laughs when you make plans, right?
mhm.
Because you think that your plan gonna go one way, but it hardly ever. And if you have a plan that so cast in stone, it will be harder for you. In film we have a saying. It says kill the baby, which sounds bad if you hear it out right. But it says kill the baby, and what it means is that a lot of people who do film and when they write, they fall in love with this subject, or this topic or this character, and then sometimes you have to understand that you had to kill the baby, to um
To
for
keep the interest in the
exactly to for,
mhm.
for the story to flourish because you get married to what you want, but it's not always about what you want because if you have anything could happen along the way where you're like,
So you're
oh, I didn't
saying that
expect this to happen.
like you mean you still have to be uncomfortable
Yeah, yeah,
to
you
be
have to.
comfortable.
When I was doing my my life insurance, and everybody asks me what this, and they say phone crazy, and this is my view on it, right? I put something like I put suicide in it.
Hmm.
I don't want to kill myself, but I always tell people I don't know what happened 10 years from now. What if something happened that's so tragic that you don't know, and sometimes you never know what's gonna happen to you along the
What
way.
life's gonna throw at
You
you.
know, and
Mhm.
sometimes life could show something at you that that
Expect the
is a
unexpected
it's a
is
curveball, right?
yeah.
And like you never know. I could never laugh at somebody who on drugs because I don't know where I gonna be in 10 years.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully not. Like I pray that I don't be on drugs, but I don't think people who I don't think a lot of people who on drugs knew that they
Plan to
will
be.
be.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. How does personal training and going to the gym regularly impact your life as a mom?
I think just being in the gym environment and seeing people wanting to work to better themselves. Nobody's in that gym not wanting to better themselves. There's whether I'm at like the work gym or the other gym I go to, I think it's really inspiring seeing people want to better themselves. And then me being that help for people who also want to better themselves, and just being in that environment and then going through the workout to better my body, my mental health, and everything. I think it makes me a much more powerful mom at home. Even if we're not doing something fitness related, we're just cooking, whatever. I feel healthy. I feel like my kids can see that I work hard to take care of myself, and that means a lot to me because, they're learning, they're taking everything in that you and I are doing. And then I could just hope that everything positive that comes from being in the gym and working out and taking care of yourself falls onto them.
Do you think each kid changed you a different way?
Definitely. I think with Annie, I was going through a lot. If you listen to the first episode with Annie, I was going through a whole lot. It was a whole lot of me learning about myself and learning that I didn't have anybody else to depend on. And even when you do have people to depend on, I think it's important that you learn to only depend on yourself, because you're the only one who can do what you want for yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then with Jada, um, I think it's hard. The middle child is very much like a mix of the last or the youngest and the oldest. So I was in such an in-between phase with Jada where I was still going to the gym, was consistent with the gym, but that's when I was really battling with like, who am I? Who do I want to be? Now that I didn't have the stress of like anything bad happening in my life was calm, and like we weren't new, but we were comfortable and building a life together. And then I think with Kai, I learned a lot in the sense of, okay, like I know I don't want any more kids. This is it. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I just felt like he opened my eyes a lot to, okay, this is time to take care of myself now. Obviously, I'm taking care of my kids too,
Yeah.
but it's now it's time where we're all a team. We're going to grow together, and that was where like I was felt really like inspired, I guess, with him.
Yeah. I felt like Annie, Annie put me on a train track, you know? Because like I met Annie and I was like, what, like I remember promising her to buy her the Corvette still till this day.
Yep,
It,
I'll never forget
yeah,
that.
it still plays in my head, you know? And so she put me on this train track where it was like, I had to do better. I remember after being in a relationship with you for it was a couple months, and we got into this fight downtown. Not you and I, me and some other man them. And like it was a huge fight, but that was the last time I went out for a long time. And everyone was asking if I was scared to go back out, and it wasn't that I was scared. It's that I realized that I was at a point where I had somebody who was dependent on me. Well, and not dependent because we wasn't like I wasn't like her stepfather yet, you know. But it had somebody who, if something was to happen,
Should
it
be
would
hurt.
impact them, you know.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I told myself, I was like, okay, I can't be running around like I used to. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
can't be this wild guy. I had a guy in the shop come in, who didn't see me in years, and he was like, "Oh, Vaughn, you're a family man now. You used to be a wild nigga, boy." You know, and like, but that was so. I realized at that point I couldn't be that person no more.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Jada was born, you know what? You know when Jada was born, it was different. Is when Jada was born, she was born, and I feel like I was there, but I wasn't really there because I was working so much.
100%. I
You
think
know?
that you don't even have to think that. I know that.
Yeah, I was there,
It,
but
yeah.
I felt like Jada brought out a lot of my insecurities though, and I feel like that's why I felt like
I think Jada made you cold for a little while, and I feel like that needs a deeper explanation. But it's almost like you were scared to love her because you were scared to be hurt or heartbroken. But
yeah, it
I don't
was
think you fully understood being a dad yet. But then I think by the time she turned like 1.5, you got very weak
no
in a good
COVID,
way.
COVID.
Yeah.
It's because it was like when she was born, and I felt like I wasn't who I was supposed to be as a man yet, and
Mm-hmm.
it was so scary because I had like all these other things I was doing that I had to give up, and subconsciously it probably impacted me thinking about it now, you know. And she was there, and I was like, the last time I thought I had something coming, it died. You know,
Yeah.
and it was um uh the miscarriage that I had before. And it was so hard to believe that that she was mine. And it's so crazy because
What are you
God.
trying to say?
Huh?
What are you trying to say?
No, no, no. I'm trying to say, like, it's so crazy that God does do things in ways that He trying to show you something. Because when Jada was born, the first thing that anyone noticed was that she had a gap.
You could see it before she even had teeth.
Yeah, that's it. You could see she had a gap, and then Jada is my firstborn, but she's the middle child,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
me. And I think that was such a blessing for me because she had so much traits of me that I was like, holy, like this person. And like during COVID, I had to like sit with her. And then so COVID happened, and then all of a sudden I went from working so much hours to be like sitting down with these kids, and then you would be like, oh, we're going to the grocery, bye. Like, yeah. Now what? And then we end up building this relationship with Jada. Well, I end up building this relationship with Jada that it's something probably I was running from before, where I was so vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. It and it's crazy because when Kai was born, you didn't go through that at all. You were
No.
just right where you
Yeah.
were with Jada.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to be as fitting.
Yeah.
Like I realized that it just that like I realized with Kai that love is given and love isn't taken. And
Mm-hmm.
that's weird that has come to my head. And it's something that you're supposed to give. You're supposed to give love and expect love back in return. And I never understood this. My mom used to tell me it all the time. She used to always say, I hope you have a kid that just like you, so you could see
That's
how it
Jada.
is.
That's
And
very
that's
Jada.
and that's Jada. And so that's and this, a lot of people, they always say, oh, Jada is your favorite. And it's not that Jada is my favorite. It's that Jada was a a a, a part of my life that really break me. And it was for the first time in my life I could see my heart outside my body.
Mm-hmm.
And really stepping into it and saying, like, what, I need to be the father that she needs was hard. And then I remember one time, I don't mean to bore you guys. I remember one time we went to the movies and she wasn't sitting. She was screaming
Was this when you had to leave
and
early?
yelling, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I tell her, let's go for popcorn, and I leave early. And then she's like crying in the car. Like, no, she won't because she's so close to me now. Probably she won't. But she was crying in the car, and then she stops crying. And like a minute after, she says, Daddy, I was like, um, you really broke my heart taking me out to the theaters like that. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I was like, oh wow, she could talk.
Like she communicated
She
her
has, yeah,
feelings
she
too.
has feelings, and all of a sudden I had to think about how I impacted her feelings, and it kind of changed, and so then with Kai it was just to fit in and to fall in with Kai, and with Annie, you're still navigating and trying to figure out, okay, how I could be a dad but a stepdad, 'cause I can't do the things that I could do with Jada. Like I remember one time she asked me, how come I punish Jada different? I was like, you want to be punished
It's
for
actually
real?
crazy because when you think about all of our kids, like we really do have to treat them all differently.
Yeah.
Because I had Annie on my own for the longest time. And then Jada's a girl. Jada's full of emotions. And then there's Kai, and he's a boy. We have to, you know, treat him differently than we would treat Jada
Yeah.
and Annie.
But Jada's a lot of work, though. Jada's a lot of attention, for sure.
Jada's a lot of work.
For sure. But also I feel like having three different kids, like having one kid is one thing because you learn one personality trait. Having two kids is different because you have two personality traits. But it just seems like, okay, this is the opposite of this.
Yeah.
Annie is tidy, Jada is untidy.
Mhm.
And the thing that does it, but when a third kid come with totally different personality traits, you're like, oh, it have so much like how you deal with everything. And I feel like that helped me a lot in business as well. Because
Yeah.
you start to see that okay, everybody needs to be dealt with different. Even if you think the person is the same.
It's the same with training.
Yeah.
Not every body is the same, and and I mean literally every body.
Yeah.
Like
That's actually a good punchline.
but yeah, like every single person, like you can have two people that look identical standing side by side. Their body looks the exact same, but one person can be stronger in one exercise than the other
Yeah.
and vice versa.
But there's heart problems or injuries.
Yeah, like everybody is seriously different. Everybody, whatever.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's so that you see, and that is it come back full circle.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I say like everything in your life does impact, you know,
Hmm.
how you are. If if you could change one thing as a mom, what do you think you want to change?
I think that's a really, really, really hard question. There, I don't know. I feel like as a mom, you always think, when I'm this age, like, I mean, as a kid, not as a mom, but like when you're growing up and before you think of even being a mom, you just think like, oh, by the time I'm 22, I'm going to have my life together. I'm going to be married and then have kids and then we're going to have a big house and whatever. I think I think it's a really hard question to answer because there's not one thing I would change. There's lots that I would change, but it's also just it's things that are out of your control, so it's not something that I don't know. There's no one answer.
I asked myself this one question one time, and then the answer came back to me, and the answer was actually that one thing that I will change is the fact that we don't realize that we live in a memory.
Mm.
So one day we would look back at this and be like, I think I would have just hugged my kids more.
No, that's what I mean. That's why it's hard to answer that question because you can't you can't say that like okay, in my head a lot of the times I'm like if I don't do this, I would regret that if something bad happens. But you can't always do all those things.
No, you can't. Definitely.
Like if Annie misbehaves or something, not that she ever does. Well, I mean, if she does something wrong and I punish her the way that I think she should be punished, I can't be like, okay, what if something bad happens after I punish her? Because if I live like that, I will feel fear all the time and then she'll never learn a lesson.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Do you
like,
get what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, like, you had to do. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to discipline and stuff, you had to do it on the spot. You're right, but I just mean like in general, in terms of me wishing I had a bigger house, or me wishing I could travel the world with my kids. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that it's just I feel like everything is is just a memory. You know, like I could see myself. I remember one time we went to the mall and I saw old couple and I said, "Yeah, what if that old couple there is us who get a chance to go back to see ourselves, right? At this age, but we can't recognize ourselves."
We'd have so many answers.
You know, and you could just see yourself and be like, yo, bro, all that thing that you're stressing over, not worth it, bro. You know, and sometimes is sometimes is sometimes you just have to do the right things and take the right steps, and it takes a way longer time because you're taking the right steps, and you're not trying to screw nobody over. But what you're doing in that process is that you're teaching your kids, you know, how to be better, you know, and they could be better and they could be the ones to fly, you know. And I mean, we're gonna be the ones to fly too. I'm not saying like some like just doing the right thing and not trying to take shortcuts and not trying to cut people off in traffic, you know, might just be the thing that teaches your kids. 'Cause to me, it makes no sense for
Like
me to
doing
have
things that feel good on your spirit.
yeah,
Like
because
feel like you're doing the right
and
thing.
yeah, because to me it makes no sense for me to have all the money in the world and have kids with no honor.
Yeah.
You know, then you lose everything. It was for nothing.
Hmm.
You know, so I think that's the key to this life. Yeah, so where you see yourself 5 years in personal training?
I see myself with some of my long-term clients and celebrating their successes, and like sometimes I feel like personal training, like some of my clients look up to me like, "Oh, you have it together. You know everything. You know how to work out. You're perfect." But like in a sense of the workout world, whatever, you know what you're doing. But like I also feel like being a personal trainer is kind of like a team thing, because I really am learning a lot from my clients as well, like about what they're going through in their lives, and it just makes me realize that everyone's just trying. So I think in 5 years I see myself just continuing to learn about people and help people better themselves, and whatever that looks like, whether I'm online training or in a gym or with clients, whatever it is, I see myself doing what I'm doing now with more knowledge.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about personal trainers?
I think that a lot of people think that um, once you hire a personal trainer and you're doing your sessions and that's all you have to do. I think that people think that, and I don't mean this in an ignorant way. I think that a lot of people think that we're going to solve all their problems and
Like you have
make their body
magicians.
exactly, yeah, exactly what they want it to be. But what matters a lot is what you do outside of the gym as well. So we're there for accountability for your workouts, to guide you, to help you with form, and give you some nutrition information and stuff like that, guidance for 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 things outside of the gym as well. But I think that it's really important what you do outside of the gym. There's only so much that we can do within that 1 hour session that we have. Like we can tell you all the information that you need to know, but like getting your steps in, your protein goals, and all that. But it's definitely really important that you're keeping track outside of the gym, and then you show up to your session and you've done all these things, and that's what's really going to get you where you want to be.
Yeah, I also feel like I feel people overestimate the gym and underestimate food, if that
Yeah,
makes
like
sense. Because I feel like even
we
when you think about like old Chinese people, they don't
mhm.
go to the gym, but they eat properly, like they eat clean, and I'm not saying that they don't need to go to the gym. I'm just saying that it's better to live a life. I could be wrong, but it's better to live a life where you eat proper, not much sugar and stuff, than to go to the gym all the time and eat bad. Because it's still you still end up in the same place.
Yeah, and I don't want that to sound scary either, because I think one of my biggest things as a trainer is I want people to understand there's a balance. Like I don't want anyone to feel fear when it comes to um the gym and nutrition and everything. I think that's the biggest thing for me that I learned too, is that I'm not telling you have to, every single day get your 10,000 steps. You have to hit every single protein goal. You have to never eat a piece of chocolate cake that you love and that you're craving. I think that that's a sure way to, like, what's it called? Get a eating disorder and to fail, because I don't think fitness and health is about being strict all the time. Like that's just going to put you
Definitely.
into
It's a,
a place where you really
and
hate it and you
make it hard.
despise,
Yeah, make it
yeah.
hard. You know? Uh,
And I think that's honestly like one of the biggest things I learned actually since Kai, because before that I would be like, okay, I'm eating clean. I'm going to have, a smoothie, which every single morning, which actually isn't great for you
yeah.
because it's a whole lot of sugar when you're first waking up. That's a different topic. But I would be like, okay, I'm going to eat this every single day. I would meal prep dried chicken, mustard, sweet potato, and broccoli. I'm going to eat the same thing every single day. And that's the only way I'm going to get my fit body
Yeah,
and
I can never
whatever I
like
want.
that's I think that was my biggest thing. The first time going to the gym was the meal prep thing. Because I tried the meal prep thing, but I personally feel like the meal prep thing is something for white people. Because I need fresh food.
Okay, shut up.
no, no, but I need like fresh food. Like I need my food to be fresh, bro. I can't do that. Put it in the microwave
Oh
nonsense.
my God,
I need like proper food. It could be like we have less carbs because I know like me and you do this thing now where we do like we don't eat much rice anymore, right? So like we will use like Brussels sprouts or squash or some kind of veg to
Yeah, and
replace it,
like
like root veg maybe
I
too.
think it's important to a lot of TikToks say like, eat the same thing every day, like even if it's whatever. I think just like your workout program, I'm not going to give you the same workouts. You're not going to have the same program for a year
Yeah,
doing the exact same thing. Like that gets very, very boring. So it's the same with nutrition.
because
It's
that
like
salt and pepper
switch it up.
chicken breast is not it. That
Okay,
salt and pepper chicken breast
stop
has.
insulting white people.
Huh? I didn't know why. I didn't know why people always like the fresh raw veg. Like when they go to the weddings, they had the veg platter. Give some food.
Listen, you're the one with high blood pressure, not me.
The very thing we laugh at white people for is the thing that does kill us, and that's seasoning.
Yes. Yes.
but but at the same time, I just can do the whole meal prep thing, and I understand. Like, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I know that there's a lot of people out there who like they're intimidated by it, and that stops a lot of people because they don't see
Yeah, and
the
that's
the
that's
results.
that's literally what I try to tell people when we're in the gym. It's like they're so focused on, I had a piece of chicken. Was it too much chicken? Like, did I eat too much? Like, I feel like that's, unless you're preparing for like a competition or whatever, but most of my clients they just want to balance. They want to feel healthy.
Want to look good?
Yeah, they want to look good. They want to feel good. They want to be able to be active for their kids. And, you know, so I think that it's so important not to create an eating disorder or like something that takes all your happiness out of the gym and
Yeah.
being healthy. So
But
like the
you can make a game with it too. Like for me, I make a game out of it sometimes. Like I'll be like, you know what? I could go for. Let me see who could go the longest without alcohol. You
yeah,
know?
like just
So
last month I
yeah,
just you just yeah, like that's the
I
thing.
lose. I lose that month, but still we had the competition. Like and if more people like choose like one
And it's like
friend they
healthy
know,
competitions,
yeah,
right?
healthy
Like
competition. Yeah, like one person choose a friend and they know and say, yo, let's vote for $50. Whoever drink alcohol first. It's hard because you're not living with that person. So I feel like challenges like that actually help.
yeah, and it also helps with everything you're doing too. Like when I see you in the gym, like your focus isn't personal training. Your world doesn't revolve around fitness, but you want to be healthy, you want to feel healthy, and that's like the average client that I have, right? So, I feel like you creating a healthy habits that you're creating is kind of inspiring you in other areas in your life.
Definitely.
I feel like when you go to the gym, you're more inspired for the whole entire day. When you eat a healthy meal, you're like, "Oh, you know what? Like I actually feel good." And it's not like you deprived yourself of anything. You're full, you feel satisfied. And if you are craving something like, you know, you love cupcakes, if you want it,
Oh,
you're
I
going to
love
have it.
cupcakes.
You're not going to
Red velvet.
Yeah, but it's not like we're going to go to the grocery store and never buy those things. Like we're it's not about that. It's about balance,
Yeah.
right? So, I don't know.
No, definitely. Because like going to the gym now, um, and the challenges I have is literally just to keep it fresh for me. Because honestly speaking, I'm not a gym person. I don't like the gym like most people like the gym. Like there's
I
some
don't
people,
even think most people like the gym. I
yeah,
think most people are addicted to the feeling when they finish a workout.
yeah, like because some people like the gym. Like
I like the
I'll
gym.
be in the gym, and be like, I had to come back here again tomorrow.
Yeah, you do. You say that all the
Like
time. You're like, I
literally.
can't believe I have to do this for the rest of my
Yeah, I
life.
have to do this every single day. Like you don't have a time where you're like, oh, I win, I'm done. It's like, yeah, graduate from the gym, but there's not, right? And
As long as you get there, not every workout's going to be the same.
yeah, I just want to live for longer.
Yeah.
I just want to live for longer and to feel better. And honestly, I'm not a depressed person at all, but I know that when I do go to the gym, there's a certain chemical imbalance in my
You
body
see? You
that
see, this
makes
is
me
what I'm saying.
go through this feeling of being like, what you doing with your life?
Yep.
Like then Philip is the voice in my head, right? Philip becomes an asshole after missing the gym for 3 days. He says mean stuff, and I have to be like, yo, Philip, yo, Philip, you need to relax.
There's also like, I don't want to touch too much on it because I haven't done full research, but there's definitely a lot of studies that show what working out can do to your brain and
Definitely.
your body
The-
on the
And, and
whole.
and what sugar does is the opposite. So when you're not
Yes.
going to the gym and you're eating all these sugars, you're putting yourself in such a bad place that it's so
Horrible.
easy to be lazy and to not be creative. And like going to the gym is just like for me sparks my
When I
is
don't
sparks my
go to
energies.
the gym, if I have a day like a bad day or whatever and I just don't make it to the gym, not that whatever. If I don't go to the gym, I definitely tend to eat worse.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
eat worse on that day and I don't drink enough water. I probably didn't sleep very well. Like it all ties in together.
Yeah,
So but so that's what I'm saying from what I was talking about earlier. I think that that 1 hour session that you have, like personal training session, is more for like accountability, and I can just hope that it opens up other doors when you're outside of our session.
definitely. Definitely, because I feel like that is a big part of the personal training thing too, and especially people who used to go into the gym and hire a personal trainer.
Hmm.
It's different
I
because
don't even think so. Like I honestly think that every single person needs a trainer, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a
no,
personal
no,
trainer.
no, I mean like in terms of how they view a personal trainer. You know, like
Oh,
if I used to go into the gym and I have a personal trainer, the way I view a personal trainer is different to somebody who never went because the person who never went expect the personal trainer to give them the body.
fix. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whereas the
yeah.
person who used it just expect the personal trainer to motivate them and push them to be better. So it's more like a mental thing when with that one, and the next one is more like, oh, fix me.
Yeah.
Opinion,
But I
opinion,
think I
you need to
think
fix me.
if you're training with a personal trainer, I think at first they're like, okay, I'm not seeing any changes. And then after a while, they're like, okay, wait, I'm doing all my workouts. What can I change besides that? Like, what am I not doing?
Unless a personal trainer could be like the State Farm man, and just pop out every time you're gonna eat something and be like, oh, what are you gonna eat there? How much, what are you gonna eat there? You can't,
Yeah, and I wish,
you
like,
can't just
I honestly wish I could be
see what
there.
they're doing for the whole
Yeah,
day
yeah,
and be like, okay, well, I understand what you know, but not eating doesn't help.
yeah.
Like, cause most people think, oh, if I don't eat, if I'm missing meals, then I helping with with weight loss, but it
With everything
actually,
I'm doing, right?
yeah,
Like,
but
if
it
you don't
actually
have
not.
enough protein, you're not going to build the muscle you want to build.
What do you think about?
Whatever.
What do you think about BBL personal trainers?
BBL, what do you mean?
BBL personal trainers, personal
Personal
trainers
trainers with
with BBLs.
you do you, boo. I don't know.
But would you hire a personal trainer who have a BBL?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. To me, that's cheating.
No, no, no. Like,
That's
I
cheating.
don't think so. I don't think so. There's so I don't even think you should put this in this podcast, but
Why?
I think I would still hire somebody with the BBL. There's a lot of people that no matter how hard you work out, their genetics just don't allow them to grow that big booty. You can have as much muscle as you want. If your genetics aren't in your favor in the booty area, like, and you want just a little more, and that's where, some people don't just get that extra juiciness.
So what
I
do you
don't
think about men who has a BCL,
What's a BCL?
Brazilian? Oh no, not that one. Imagine a Braz- a Brazilian calf lift because I need one. I need
Oh,
some
I
calves.
was not thinking
I knew I wasn't
that.
thinking that because it was a slut, but yeah, that was actually a good one. I don't know. Okay, so you see, so that was a good misconception. That's a good it's good because I had this idea and you just explained it to me. And you're right, is that some girls just can't grow butt, right? And sometimes the BBL like they
And it's
do
not
it
that
and
you can't grow a butt. Like, everybody can grow muscle wherever they want to grow muscle. But like, if somebody has this idea of wanting this like big round peach, you can't just get that. There's
true.
genetics, right?
True. And then personal training is what's on your mind, not what's on your body, right? Like you could have a fat personal trainer who could be the best personal trainer in the world.
100%.
So
It
there's her
You could
choices.
see people in the gym.
Or skinny. Yeah.
You could see like a big woman in the gym. Looks like if you were to see her at Walmart, you'd be like, oh, she never works out. She could be
Like
the most
eyebrows.
powerful person in the gym.
Like eyebrows.
Stop it.
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah.
saw this little 5 foot girl at the gym the other day, and I couldn't believe what she could squat. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put any numbers out there, but just watching her made me terrified. And her form was great. Like, I couldn't believe how powerful she was. Everybody is different. Everybody has their way of feeling good.
Yeah. And
And
stop eating box food from the grocery.
Yeah.
Mr. Big is Mr. Big?
What's Mr. Big?
The big man, big meal from the corner store.
Oh, ew, those TV dinners. Hungry Man.
Hungry Man.
Hungry Man dinners. Yeah.
Hungry
Ooh.
Man. Like one thing I look at in Canada, I don't mean to this Canada, but when it's garbage night, how come we the only people on the block with garbage? Everybody else just have a bunch of recycle. Whereas like, everybody eating food out of a box. We have like 3-4 big bags of garbage that we put outside there with like a bunch. Like we always cook. You know, everybody else have like 3-4 cans of recycle. It's just
pop cans and stuff.
Pop cans and that kind of stuff, you know. But it's like a bunch of boxes, like dinner from grocery store boxes. I never understood how that could be a steal for some people. But yeah, thanks for coming on today. I know you have some more conversations because I have so much things that we touch
There
on.
really is a lot of things
that we want to
about.
get deeper into.
Yeah.
But we have some stuff to do today, and we can't release things. But oh well, no, thanks for having me.